My fish fam, we're going to play some Legacy Merfolk today. It's Nikachu, Merfolk Master. Although I have to say, this Legacy deck, this is what I prepared for NRG Series Chicago, and I can't say I'm thrilled about it. It's like, it's a deck, but I can't say it's like, tier 1. Those Modern Horizons 3 upgrades, they're pretty good in this format. Eldrazi is a tough matchup, but you know what? We can be tough back because we got Mistcaller here. Okay, let me tell you some of the benefits of this deck while it's still, like, basically legal, or, like, the deck is still somewhat relevant in this Grief Rescaminator metagame. Mistcaller, I think, is actually a very well-positioned card, despite the presence of Bowmasters in the format, mainly because if you play turn 1 Mistcaller, it really shuts down a lot of the lines from the Rescaminator deck. So any of the Entomb lines or Discard Troll to Reanimate, they're all offline. Not to mention, Mistcaller is also very good versus all the Green Sun Zenith decks, which can include some of the lands variations. So Mistcaller ended up being very, very well positioned, mostly because Psychic Frog ended up becoming booting out Bowmasters from the Rescaminator deck. So I didn't really want to reach for Mistcaller, which, by the way, if you don't know, it's a blue 1/1, sacrifice Mistcaller until end of turn. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, you exile it instead. I didn't like playing this card in the past because Bowmasters was just way too prevalent in the Rescaminator decks. But they dropped Bowmasters either to the sideboard or completely out of the 75 completely so that they can play with Psychic Frog, which apparently I guess is a good card. That's great. They play Psychic Frog. We got ourselves a Mistcaller. I would say the deck performs pretty well versus Rescaminator, not as well as I would like it to. I achieve a better than 50% win rate. The only times I lose are when they go Entomb into Reanimate Archon of Cruelty, but that's basically the only way I lose the game, and I win through most of the other lines. I would say things are getting harder and harder because I believe that Rescaminator is playing with more and more removal from the sideboard, siding out all their counter magic, and they're interacting better with us, but I still like the matchup. Matchups I don't like, and I also think, okay, I'm going to change. This is my list from NRG Series Minneapolis, but we're gonna switch some stuff out. We're gonna take out Grafdigger's Cage, which was also for Rescaminator. I'm going to replace with Surgical Extraction. I do like Grafdigger's Cage more than Surgical Extraction versus Rescaminator, but the problem is that I like it because they can't grief it out of your hand. But the problem is Grafdigger's Cage is sort of poop versus the Uro decks, and I'll get a Caracas to put in our deck. Here we go. Let's get ourselves a healthy looking Caracas. So, oh, I don't want this promo. We're gonna play with this one. I like this one. All right, that's great. So these cards, so we have still a little Graveyard Hate versus Rescaminator, but these cards are so much better versus Uro decks, both Caracas and Surgical Extraction, and Uro is still a little bit too popular that I don't want to. I really, honestly, it was probably a mistake to drop them. I went too hard into beating Rescaminator, and honestly, having Grafdigger's Cage sometimes is a liability because they still got Engineered Explosives and Powder Keg and stuff to blow up the one drops. You can't blow up this thing. What else do I want to say about this deck? I think Sink Into Stupor is a great addition to this deck to bounce Murktides, to bounce large Psychic Frogs, to bounce a fantastic addition. You take a little bit more damage, but holy crap, I really enjoy having this to pitch to Force of Will. Very, very good. Very, very good card. We're splitting the Hex Catchers and Tricksters because they're sort of mediocre. They're either really good or really bad depending on the matchup they're in. So we still have the full playset in the 75, but I've split them up in the sideboard. Harbinger of the Seas, I don't even know if this card is even good. It is good versus lands decks. So it's good versus lands decks. It's good versus, what's it called? It's not good versus Rescaminator. It's not really good versus blue decks, to be honest, because of Carpet of Flowers. They play Carpet, Rug Delver can have Carpet of Flowers, and then you play Harbinger of the Seas, and you're just basically helping them. So it's fine versus Eldrazi, and Eldrazi is a very tough matchup, so I would prefer to have Harbinger of the Seas than not, but that's what we're doing. Eldrazi is basically one of the main reasons I can't really get an edge in this format. That matchup is so bad. If they win the die roll, I am not confident in winning the match. If I win the die roll, we have a chance. But basically, if you're on the, it's like they have so many soul lands, we can't realistically slow them down. So I got Damping Sphere in the sideboard to help versus Eldrazi, hopefully shut down their mana base, but also being useful versus combo decks. Okay, I don't have anything to say. Oh yeah, I got Tishana's Tidebinder here. Honestly, it's just a useful utility card versus a wide range of decks. Also, just the fact that it has Flash is very helpful versus the control decks. All right, with that, let's get into a Legacy League. We won the die roll. Our hand, sort of mopey, but I'm going to keep it. I'm not really thrilled with double Ether Vial hands these days. Not really thrilled with Ether Vial, period. All right, always start off with Island in Legacy. You never know when they're going to wasteland you. You never know. Next turn, probably we will... I don't know, it depends what they do. If they play like a 1-drop like Dragon Rage Chandler, we'll Dismember and follow it up with Ether Vial. Ooh, it's Eldrazi, which means we are in trouble already. Yeah, they just go Soul Land into Soul Land into Soul Land into Soul Land. Kozilek's command is so strong. It's a super beating. A super beating. Okay, given the context of this hand, I'm going to play Ether Vial, hold up Dismember if they play, for example, a card like Thought-Knot Seer. So if they Thought-Knot Seer, I can Dismember it. We'll draw a card. They'll probably take something, but that's okay. Ooh, Glaring. This is probably even more dangerous than anything else because this pings us for a lot. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, create a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn token that adds mana, which is just insane. And on top of that, whenever a colorless creature enters the battlefield, it pings us. Very, 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 very strong. So with this Lotus Petal, they can still play like a second creature here because they got a spawn and a Lotus Petal they can burn here. And an extra floating mana. They can actually play a 5-drop if they really want to. You want to sack that spawn or you don't want to? Ooh, that heralds the end. Okay. You got a buffy spawn now. And the super expensive creatures. So this buffs up the creatures, +1/+1, and the 7 mana cards are now basically 6 mana cards. So we'll put our Mistcaller in play. Not a very impressive creature. Better than nothing. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. I don't really want to land. I guess we just want more creatures, period. Okay, well, more creatures, period, showed up. Let's attack, I guess. I think we can afford to attack. I'm sort of concerned about Dismember, but I don't know what else I can do about it. Okay, nothing happens. Do I want to maximize damage or hold things back and wait and see? I guess I'm going to be a holds things back and wait and see person. It's colorless spells. So they could always dust me. I'm honestly not super familiar with what a stock Eldrazi deck looks like. There seems to be a lot of different flavors and variations of this deck going around. So I'm not entirely sure what exactly is definitely mandatory to all these decks. All right, so one of our lands are gonna get blown up here, which is unfortunate, but we get to put a Hexcatcher in play. Unfortunately, we do have our vials, so I was criticizing the vials earlier. No criticism anymore. We're gonna have a tough time pushing some damage, though. Now, a line that they can take, the Miko Spawn says, when you cast the spell, if it was kicked, exile target land. And then, of course, they get to look through their deck for any land. It's not a base, any land. They can get Wasteland. So a pretty common line that I see is that they'll blow up this, like, a basic land and then go get Wasteland and chew up the other one. And they just put it in play. So the Eldrazi, I wish Wizards of the Coast gave as much love to Merfolk as they give it love to Eldrazi. Eldrazi gets everything, not to mention it's like a colorless archetype, so they infinitely get better cards over time. Thought-Knot Seer. Well, that sucks, because we can't get Tishana's Tidebinder in play and counter that ability. So Thought-Knot Seer is going to eat something up here. And even on the play, it does not seem to have been useful enough. Now, cards that are good in this matchup, True Name Nemesis, yeah, just basically True Name Nemesis is a good one. We do want that one. We got a Wasteland. That's interesting. I guess we're going to eat up the Eye of Ugin. It's basically just as good as everything else. I have no good attacks. In fact, I have no attacks at all. Okay, so let's eat up Eye of Ugin. Hopefully they don't play another Eye of Ugin. My hope is that the land that they play has to make them sacrifice City of Traders. So that's a benefit. Also, the Ancient Tomb will progressively deal them damage if they choose to keep tapping it for mana. Now these cards are free. They got upsides, they got downsides. Oh, there's another Lotus Petal. But they have 3 cards in hand. We have no cards in hand. Come to attack us. All right, well, no blocks. I'm not in a position to block anything. I'm hoping to draw, I don't know, Trickster or something. Please stop playing things, my Eldrazi fellow. See, like, they're playing as if they have Dismember in hand, which makes my blocks bad. Also, just makes everything bad. You see their ability. This is going to be always no for both of these. What do we got? Ooh, we got Tide Shaper. That's a good one. Well, now what do I do? You know, I did have maybe one... No, did I have one block? No, I didn't have any. I didn't have any block. I guess I could have double blocked the Sowing Mycospawn with Mistcaller and Master of the Pearl Trident, but... Like, my real hope is I draw, like, another Lord here that will give me better profitable blocks going into this next turn, but that didn't happen. So we die if we do nothing, so we have to start playing... I'm going to just put this mopey creature in play. We've got a Merfolk of the Pearl Trident here. This Tide Shaper. We're going to pass the turn. Kozilek's Command, of course. Kozilek's Command is insane. Like, it's just insane how they designed this card. Like, I wish it was more like Cryptic Command, where it's like exile target creature with mana value X or less, and then it just says you create X01 colorless, and then if you sack the creature, you counter the whole spell, but its target player gets X01 colorless Eldrazi spawn, and exile target creature. So if I sacrifice, like, let's say I sacrifice right now, they still get the creatures. Or in this case, what do they want? Yeah, they want to get the creatures. And also the Scry X draw card is also a huge beating. It's just a complete beating. Now they got like an army of spawns. Anyway, I'm dead. I don't have to say anymore. Okay, in this matchup, we want anything that can interact with the creatures. And of course, anything that... Harbinger is not that good. Like, I wish it was better. But like... Essentially, you sort of have to get them with their pants down. Like, they like tap out big and... they don't have Dismember, but between Dismember and Kozilek's Command, they have a lot of ways of beating Harbinger of the Seas, so you're best playing Harbinger of the Seas when they're tapped out. Now, this is one of the matchups where I really want Damping Sphere, and we'll bring in a Wasteland. Hexcatcher is not that good because it's very just weak in general, and Mistcaller is not that good because also very, very puny and weak. Just creatures that are bigger, have potential for evasion are good. Oh, we're on the play. So we are going to side out Force of Will, and I'll tell you why. On the play, if they play a combination of Cavern of Souls or Vexing Bauble, this card is really shut off. You can still hit Kozilek's Command, you can still hit Dismember, but I don't think it's worth the 2-for-1 on the play. I do think it's worth the 2-for-1 on the draw. I guess so. Then we have to bring in Mistcaller or Hexcatcher. I guess we're bringing in Hexcatcher, and that'll be fine. Maybe on the play also I could have Chalice to shut off their Lotus Petal, but that seems a bit weak. But I will be bringing in Force of Will on the draw. I do think it's worth the risk because they're just too aggressive, and being able to have some answer to Dismember is great. This hand's fine. We're gonna keep this, and I want to minimize the damage I take, so I'll just play Sink into Stupor tapped and pass, and then we'll hopefully play Tide Shaper on turn 2. And then maybe a Harbinger of the Seas on turn 3. But I would say the Eldrazi matchup is one of the matchups that I think needs to be heavily fixed. Like, I don't really have a problem with most matchups in Legacy, but this one is just so awful. They're just so powerful. They play with so many dual lands, like soul lands. It's just near damn impossible to beat. Cavern of Souls doing nothing. Ooh, Damping Sphere. I was going to play my Tide Shaper out, but if you play Tide Shaper, that actually runs into Dismember. But you know what? They can't do anything about this. This is a great card. I don't think anyone else is playing this card. I think I'm the only one playing Damping Sphere in this format. Funny stuff. Now remember, this affects us too. You add 1 mana now. They're really playing... Well, they're really playing like they have Dismember, but I'm just going to force them to have it. I want to cut off their colored mana so they can't be playing like those Mycospawn things. They have green Eldrazi. They have red Eldrazi. So actually the colored mana matters. What is this? Oh, they're going to play What are they going to do? Kozilek's Command? That doesn't work. You only have 2 mana. See, this only taps for 1 now. Where's the dismember? What is this? I don't get this. Oh, they're just cycling Kozilek's command. They'll scry 0 and draw a card. That's fine. Okay, that's great. Okay, so they need to cycle. They got problems. They got problems. Although I guess for 2 mana, they can, if they have 1 more mana in play, they can Kozilek's command, just eat this thing up. Chalice on 1. That is not very useful versus me, opponent. That is not very useful. Borderline pathetic. All right, my tech is working. My tech is working. Although it looks like they're sort of in trouble anyway. And on top of that, the next land that they play is going to really screw them because they have to sacrifice their City of Traders. Here we go. Here's the Eldrazi Temple. So is this going to be Thought-Knot Seer? We can beat a Thought-Knot Seer pretty comfortably. Oh, it's going to be the blue one. You're going to bounce like my Tide Shaper or something? Or actually, I mean, just tapping this land. I have no idea what they're using the mana for. Okay, they are going to Kozilek's command for 1 this time. Oh yeah, this still adds 1 mana. But they free up the Cavern of Souls. But you know what they can't free up? Their colored mana, because we now have Harbinger of the Seas online. My sideboard tech is working perfectly. Okay, still no colored mana. If they can't have colored mana, that cuts off a ton of their options. Also, they don't even have colorless mana anymore for Kozilek's command. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Oh, they got Dismember. Okay, Dismember is a legal play. Now it's time for Miko Spawn, unkicked, to go get a random land. Or is it Fleshringer? What do you want to do upon? Oh, they can't play 2 spells in 1 turn. They tried to play the Miko Spawn thing, but they can't play 2 spells in 1 turn. Now, here's the funny thing. So we're going to have to position... okay, what do I want to do? I think I just want to play a Lord. Or... sacrifice this creature. Maybe I don't play it. Maybe I attack for 2 and we use the trickster to just tap down the Miko Spawn. And then we maybe... No, I can't dismember anything. I'm just thinking what's the best way to play this. I guess we play a Lord and then dismember the Spawn. I'm going to dismember you because I know your opponent. Your master wants more mana. So we'll upkeep dismember the Spawn. And then they'll be back down to 3 lands again. That's right. This is what happens, Eldrazi, when you have to play fairly around here. When you have to you have to cast your stuff for like basically 1 mana. 1 land adds 1 mana. Yeah, you keep tapping those lands, Eldrazi opponents. You keep tapping those lands. This is going to be the fleshy thingamabobber. Yeah, Damping Sphere seems to be a house. This is the first time I was able to play this card versus this deck. Okay, so Glaring Flesh Raker. Can't kill that thing right now. Ooh, True Name Nemesis is great. But actually, we don't have to do anything. We can just play a Lord, attack for 8. They've got a chump block to survive. And then, yeah. So the writing's on the wall. But here's the problem, Fish Fam. Here's the problem. We're on the draw. That's not good news. Okay, so we're going to take out the Hex Catcher. Maybe we'll take out maybe 1 Vial. What else do I want to take out? Maybe just Tishana's Tiebinder is not so good on the draw. Do you know what? I think I want less Vials, a little bit more like lands. I don't really like depending on Vial. They got a lot of ways of like interacting with my Vial. Apparently, they still have Chalice on 1 as well, so that sucks. But I do want to bring in the 4 Force of Will, because on the draw, with Dismember, with Kozilek's command, that's a little too strong. And randomly, if they don't have Vexing Bauble or Cavern of Souls, that's great. I can't depend on that, but Force of Will is just basically interaction for their interaction. And because we're on the draw, we have an extra card, and we're gonna if we lose, we're gonna lose with a bunch of cards in our hand, so it's not even that important. Okay, so maybe we'll take out Tishana's Tiebinder. I sort of like Tishana's Tiebinder in this matchup by quite a bit, but I gotta chop something off on the draw, and I guess that's just gonna be it. How many lands do I have? 19 plus 3 Vials. That's fine. Oh, 19 plus all the Sink into Stupors, though. Whatever. Keep it as it is. I'm not keeping this. We have all our Force of Wills. We have a 4 of a kind, a Force of Will. Yeah, this is terrible. This hand's more manageable. We'll keep this. Dump, I guess. It's a tough call. Sort of want to dump the Trickster. It's either Trickster or Wasteland. True Name is one of the most important cards in this hand. But it also depends on slowing the opponent down by a lot. But we definitely have to go like turn 1 Vial and then pass. And then hope for the best. How useful is Wasteland here? Sometimes Wasteland really sucks. Because they just ramp out a Miko Spawn, and then it's like, it doesn't even matter. Okay, so I guess we'll get rid of a Wasteland. Keep the threats in our hand. Devourer of Destiny. Devour Destiny is also another card I like. I don't know why they printed this. Ooh, they start off with the Wasteland. You want to Wasteland my Cavernous Souls? I don't think. Ooh, they can't even Wasteland this. This is great. So we have turn 3 True Name Nemesis online. I think that's a sign of weakness. If they go turn 2 Fleshraker, that will be a problem. Okay, they have Ive Ugin. Okay, they got the turn 2 Fleshraker. That is a problem. Because this is... okay, but they didn't make anything of it. Boy, I wish I had a Dismember or something. Options. Probably our best option is to play, like, land Trickster, this Fleshraker, and then see what happens on their turn. It's probably our best option. Because this thing gets out of control really fast. I'm just going to have to hope that they don't have, like, a super powerful follow-up from here. Fortunately, they cannot play Kozilek's Command with a single colorless mana. They need at least 2 colorless to just even get it online. This will be disabled for at least the turn. Another Eldrazi Temple, and they go pass. They definitely have Kozilek's Command here. Then maybe we should definitely play True Name Nemesis this turn, and then hope we don't die horribly. Because I don't have any good follow-up. And so, like, we waited on this Wasteland. Turns out they are not choked on mana. They keep playing lands. So we can't really stop their mana development. Glaring Fleshraker just makes tokens that can be sacked for mana. Anyway, we can't stop this. So we're going to attack for 2. We're going to attempt to attack for 2. And then I'll just play a True Name Nemesis. If they do have Kozilek's Command, I don't want to expose my Lord of Atlantis, so I'm not playing it with Vile. I'll just Vile it in at end of turn. True Name Nemesis is our best route to maybe winning this game. I certainly wish I could, like, get out of range of this stupid Kozilek's Command. It's very, very difficult. Yeah, so here we go. Here it starts. Make them spawns and also draw cards. Oh, they're actually not killing my Trickster. That's great. And then for all these spawns, we'll trigger the Fleshraker. I should just auto-yield this. This card's lethal. It's very, very, very good versus us. A little too good, if you ask me. I will not be surprised that if they ban Grief, this deck is going to just take over. It's just so strong and mana efficient. I don't even know what its bad matchups are. They just printed so many good cards for this deck. Like, they can just hard cast this Null Drifter, no problem. Every single time. So, like, basically, every single time they cast a card, they deal 2 damage to me, and they get more mana. Which is, oh, and then we have Glaring. Now we have the second Glaring Fleshraker, which usually means my death. I can't win from here. Usually. I really have no idea what can get me back here. Like, I need my opponent to have nothing in hand, basically. They need to have, like, a lot of lands. I really have no idea what the hell can get me back into this game. Like, even Harbinger of the Seas doesn't even do it because they can sack the spawns to still play their spells. And I don't have any meaningful clock here. And they can attack in the air with their Null Drifter. So I would say this is, practically speaking, this is like the nightmare matchup. And we have another Kozilek's Command. And you see, I'm just completely helpless to this. Just completely helpless. So they get another bazillion triggers. I got turn 2'd by this before. I got turn 2'd by Glaring Fleshraker before. Oh, let's look at the top of our deck. See what we draw. I will not tick this up. I am dead. All right. It would have been convenient. The Force Will would have been nice in this game. Force Will would have been nice. Or at least useful enough to hit at least one Fleshraker. And then if we could hit one Fleshraker, I could be more confident using a Wasteland earlier. Although I don't know if it matters. Like, the thing is, Wasteland is not that strong in this matchup. You would like it to be strong, but the problem is you Wasteland them and they just play another Soul Land. In the past, they had less Soul Lands available, but now they just have like a billion. Well, I mean, I can't say they had a lot less, but they had enough less that it was Wasteland felt a little bit more meaningful. Now it feels absolutely meaningless. Anyway, that was round 1. This is a bad matchup, at least for this version of the deck. Although, to be honest, it probably is going to be for all versions of Merfolk. And we'll get into round 2. Here for round 2, we have a hand. We're going to keep it. We have a hand of magic cards. We're going to start off with our Sink into Stupor, tapped. It's a pretty sad turn 1 play to be doing in Legacy. You know, we got to do what we got to do. We need to play our Soporific Springs. I don't know what that means. Soporific. I know what a Springs means. Polluted Delta into, Grief pitching Grief. We are up against Scam, the Reanimator deck, and our hand is not that well equipped to beat it. I guess we got a Hex Catcher, but once they know exactly what's in our hand, it's going to be easy enough to play around said Hex Catcher. And also, they see our wasteland, which means they'll fetch out a basic land. Oh, they take the Hexcatcher immediately. No hesitation at all. Question is, are you going to go get Reanimate, or are you going to go for bigger and better? You're going to Entomb, or you're going to Reanimate it immediately? Okay, so what are you going to go for? You want my Dismember or the something? Oh, you're going to take the Lord. Maybe this Dismember is a red herring. Maybe it's not worth anything. Okay, well, I'm still going to Dismember this damn thing. Well, you don't have days up or anything like that. I mean, it's like 3 power. I got to kill it. You're going to Reanimate it again? Oh, no, Swamp Cycling. Okay. Maybe Reanimate a Troll. Get an Underground Sea. 4? You want to Reanimate the Grief or the Troll? It's up to you. It's one or the other here. Okay, they're going for the Troll. It costs them more life. Doesn't really give them a faster clock. Now, fortunately for us, we did draw Lord of Atlantis. But I need to compete with the clock here on the board, so I probably have to go for Tishana's Tidebinder first, and then follow it up with Lord of Atlantis. So we'll go land. I think I have to play Tishana's Tidebinder now, so that my opponent can't, like, brainstorm into a daze. Well, they had daze anyway. Okay, so we lose there. I gotta be okay. If I played Lord, you attack me for 6. I attack for 2. You go to 7. Play thing. You play attack for another 6. Yeah, I needed to play Tishana's Tidebinder first. That gave you my best chance of racing this stupid thing. Psychic Frog. Also, by playing Tishana's Tidebinder first, I can attack through things like Psychic Frog. So now we are stone cold lost. Pretty sure. Oh yeah, we're very stone cold lost now. Well, that wasn't good. We're on the play. Yeah, we were on the play. Okay, cards good in this matchup. I like... oh yeah, we're gonna get our Surgical Extraction. I guess our Trickster, and that's about it. I don't like Harbinger of the Seas. Like, I've won some games with it, but like, generally speaking, they just fetch up the basics. It's not that big of a deal. Cards I don't like. You know what? I was keeping Aether Vial for the longest time. I don't know how much I like Aether Vial anymore. I think I was citing out Force of Will, which I think is fine. Because, like, it's very bad versus Grief, but you don't have any defense. Like, it's fine, but I think it's fine to throw away Force of Will versus, what's it called? To hit Psychic Frog and also Entomb. So originally my usual sideboard plan was side out Force of Will, but let's try siding out the Aether Vial instead. Because the thing is, post-board... They used to keep Daze and Force of Will post-board, but now they have got so much removal... or at least most versions have so much removal that they start siding out their other stuff. They start siding out their counter spells. So we'll keep this. Keep it as is. We have about 21 lands in the deck. We will still play first. We have a great hand. Keep. We'll start with Cavern of Souls, just in case they kept Force of Will. Just in case. You never know. They're crazy, those Riskaminator decks. So they can't beat this card. Well, they can beat it. They can kill it. But it's a huge pain for them. They're reading it right now. They don't like what they're reading. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. And our hand overall is pretty strong. Although it needs a few more threats. Could use a few more threats around here. Could be a little bit more beefier. And the thing is, okay, I didn't mention this in the deck tech. The one thing about Mistcaller versus, say, what's it called? The difference between Mistcaller and, say, Silvergill Adept or other 1-toughness creatures in our deck is that Bowmaster hitting a 2-mana creature or larger is really backbreaking tempo-wise, but it's a lot... It's actually way less damning with Mistcaller because, A, we spent 1 mana on the card, our opponent spends 2, and also you can sacrifice the Mistcaller in response to the Bowmaster trigger. Well, that was very rude. They took away all our stuff. So we might still want Sink It to Stupor into the future to bounce a Psychic Frog that gets very big. So I'll just play basic Island and pass. So we're going to attack for 1. But yeah, you can like sacrifice the Mistcaller in response to the Bowmaster trigger, and they won't get an Orc token because the damage trigger didn't resolve because the target was illegal. And they get not... So they basically just have a 2-mana 1/1 in play, and they killed off your 1/1. So it's not the worst exchange. Of all the exchanges that we can have against Bowmasters, that would be like the best way to get through it. Okay, we can ponder, but then we're gonna wasteland. You wastelanded my land, I wasteland your land. They shuffled their library, which means they're in dire straits. They don't like what's going on here. You want a Grief again? They're useless. I do have a surgical extraction for when I really want to pop this thing off. Ooh, a True Name Nemesis. I think I'm going to still hold off on that. Still have lands to play. Prefer to wasteland them. They're obviously not in a good spot. We've got that 20-turn clock. Let's get it going. All right, the land is dead, and we shall continue our 20-turn clock. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. At least this is 20 miles, really. They got another underground sea. I hate wastelanding, and they still have more They still have more stuff. I guess we'll attack for 1, and we'll play a Sink into Stupor. Or maybe we can play the land. Maybe I'll just shock myself with Sink into Stupor when I want to play True Name Nemesis. True Name is like fine in this matchup. I don't know if it's super mandatory. Given the fact that these Reanimator decks have moved heavy on removal post-board, I'm inclined to believe that actually True Name Nemesis is more important post-board. There used to be a time, like, before, like, this month, Reanimator did not have nearly as much removal. I'm not exactly sure what metagame they were preparing for, but now the metagame they're preparing for is themselves. So they need a lot of it's best to not even deal with the graveyard, just deal with what's been reanimated on the battlefield. I think my opponent is considering, do we kill this Mistcaller? What do we do with this Mistcaller? What's the plan? What's the battle plan here? Let's keep packing for 1 damage. We're going to Entomb. All right, Entomb. Does nothing. For the Archon of Cruelty, I will not be happy about that. Okay, we'll play a land and pass. Maybe this is where they'll play, like, Reanimate on Grief or something. And then we know that the following turn they're going to go for, like, a Reanimate on Archon of Cruelty. I do have to be careful playing this True Name, because if I tap out to play True Name, then, like, Surgical Extraction might be down to days. The awkward thing about playing against these Reanimator players is... I can't tell for certain how they sideboard. Orcish Bowmaster. What do you want? Okay, so the prophesized Bowmasters has appeared. So they're going to target... If they target the Mistcaller, which they should, this is where we can sacrifice it. Poof! And they don't get the token, you see? I got so many Dismembers here. Well... No, I've got a few options here. We could Surgical the Archon of Cruelty. Sort of bad value. How badly do I think my opponent... They know we have Surgical in hand, which sucks. They saw that. They know. They know. So when they go for Reanimate on Archon, there's nothing we can do about it. Alright, I really hope that they don't have days. I could go Surgical Extraction in advance, but then they would, like, Reanimate Grief, and I don't think that's great value. They have another Wasteland. Okay, they're going to Troll. Maybe they don't even have a Reanimate spell at the moment. They got an Underground Sea. Yeah, they do nothing. That's great. So it looks like they have a bunch of Orcish Bowmasters, I guess. Orcish Bowmasters galore. Or removal in general. But if they have Orcish Bowmasters galore, it's going to be an interesting race, because I have all these Dismembers in my hand. Oh, these are terrible. There's a little Phyrexian mana here. I'm not in a good position to race, but I'm going to race anyway. We got to do it. Our opponent's clearly double queuing or something. They're not really paying attention this game, which is very unfortunate. That, or they are really preoccupied at the computer desk. Okay, we attack for 3. So far, the way this game is playing out, this is, like, somewhat in the range of types of games I would win. Because the games that I usually lose are just straight up, like, Entomb, Reanimate the Archon, and I'm dead. Well, it looks like this is... Gonna hardcast a Grief? Not anymore? You want to attack first? What is this? You have Damnation? The hell does that mean? Oh, enter. What the hell was all of that? What was that? What was this tap 4 mana? What was going on there? I don't get it. Tap 4 lands? Were you like mixing up your games while double queuing? Taps 4 lands, untaps 4 lands. That's scary. It's like they wanted to cast Grief, but then they just decided not to into my 4 mana. Maybe they were playing around subtlety. I don't know. And risk for them is as their life total gets lower and lower. Like if they get to 8, now Reanimate on Archon of Cruelty is completely useless. Were you playing around days? Oh, maybe they were playing around days. So I think I am going to Surgical the Archon. This is the only way we lose, as far as I know. And then we also get to see what's in their hand, which will be nice. Okay, they've got another Grief and a Troll. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to take this Archon. That's probably the only one. Yeah, it's the only one. So they got Atraxa. How did they sideboard? They have 2 Brazen Borrowers. They have Reanimate, Entomb. They have 2 Fatal Push. So they got a good chunk of removal, not too much. They also have Murktide. Okay, so Grief on the stack will let it ETB, I suppose. And I guess it's just going to eat a removal spell. It's going to eat a Dismember. Maybe I want to tap a Bowmasters because I'm definitely going to Dismember a Grief. Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing here. Then we'll attack for 5. So you should attack with that Bowmasters, opponent. Should have attacked with that Bowmasters. So they've got Troll Grief in hand. And I can wait till next turn to see what I want to do. Yeah, that's fine. This will attack for a bunch, and they are effectively lost. Yeah. Hooray! Everything worked as planned. Okay, on the draw, do I want to change anything? I think I'm still going to keep Force of Will. Like, probably Aether Vial is a lot better on the draw. Probably. I still want to keep Fate. Did they have... I didn't look. Or I did look. I don't remember. Did they have counter magic? I think they had none. So the Force of Wills are fine. I don't know. You guys have to let me know in the... I feel like stopping the recording, looking at the recording to see what's in their hand is important. You know what? I think that's so important. I'm actually going to do that. Hold on. Okay, let's all look at my recording here. So let's get to the part where we see their hand, which was right here. So they did take out all the counter magic, all of it. That's good to know. All right. The power of recording your videos. Okay, so Force of Will is going to be online, especially on the draw, which is fine. Actually, I think that's fine. I'm not a fan of Wasteland in this matchup. Do I want anything else other than Wasteland? Not really. Or maybe I want Vial over Wasteland. The problem, well, maybe I want some Vials over Wasteland. How many lands do we have? 17. Because Wasteland is not that good versus them. If I cut down to, say, 15, and I have 4 of these, that's 19 lands. Whatever. Let's just run it as it is. It's okay. It's okay. See, we have plenty of lands. Lands for days. We're going to keep this and hope we don't get scammed here. Ooh, turn 1 Wasteland. So that's a sign of weakness, opponent. It's a sign of weakness. Do you have Force of Will for my Mistcaller? It's a big sign of will. What the hell's up with that? Turn 1 Wasteland. Like, what can... Oh, you can play Bowmasters turn 2 still. I see, opponent. Oh, you can also play Swamp Walking. Yeah. Swamp Cycling. And they got a Swamp. But you have Bowmasters. That's the important thing. They do have Bowmasters. But you know what? We have another Mistcaller. There's more where that came from, bub. We have a lot of Mistcallers. We got Mistcallers all over the place. Okay, so we'll play... I guess we'll play both of them. Behold! I have too many Mistcallers. Mistcallers all over the place. This is not reanimating. Not anytime soon, at least. Probably this is going to get eaten up by Wasteland. It does. That's okay for the most part. Okay, Underground Sea. If they play Psychic Frog, that might be awkward because I can't kill it. Okay, they go Ponder. Hopefully they shuffle. Not sure what I'll do on my next turn. I sort of want a Wasteland, but I also sort of want to play my Hexcatcher. So they draw... Maybe I'm going to Wasteland. Keep them off double blue. Well, Wasteland's just like a very low value, to be honest. I would hate to play Hexcatcher and they have another Bowmasters. That would really suck. Just trying to think what can... Okay, whatever. I guess we're going to play our Hexcatcher. At the end of their turn. We'll play Hexcatcher at the end of their turn. Or maybe not even then. No, yeah, I'd probably play Hexcatcher. I don't want to play Trickster yet. Trickster is still pretty useful for eating up a Psychic Frog. So if they go like draw a card for the turn, Psychic Frog, I would really like to take my turn, play Trickster, tap the thing down, tap the Psychic Frog down, and then dismember it afterwards. Another Wasteland. You like your Wastelands, don't you, opponent? Another Bowmaster. See, this is why you don't play your Hexcatcher immediately. Some of you out there will be like, "What, Nikachu? Why aren't you like playing your Hexcatcher to get more damage?" Because you don't want to give your opponent more information. So because they had less information, they're now making what I'm hoping is a mistake. Okay, and then they just concede the match. I guess this is just too much for them. And if they had a removal spell for our Hexcatcher, because if we play our Hexcatcher face up, then they would just play Bowmasters, kill the Hexcatcher. I don't think that's a good exchange. So you should be holding up the mana. Give them as little information as possible to maximize their mistakes. Because I don't think it's worth the 2 damage to play your Hexcatcher. Like, my opponents... You don't want to get. I'm willing to give my opponent the information when I'm under a lot of pressure, and I need the clock really badly. But we're not under pressure. There's just a 1/1 Bowmasters in play, like, so we can be a little bit patient and wait to see how the game develops. And then when we have more information, then we can play our Hexcatcher. But and like maybe I don't even play Hexcatcher that turn. Maybe I play Trickster at end of turn. Who knows? So anyway, they run right into this bloat and we win the match. All right, that's round 2. Let's get into round 3. We won the die roll in round 3. The hand looks great. We're gonna keep it. We got Mistcaller on turn 1. That's all we need to know. We got Mistcaller. We got protection from the Reanimator. If that's even gonna matter. I guess I could have started on Cavernous Souls. Thing is, you're not always up against Reanimator, so they could force a willed us. It's possible. Does not get force a willed. I mean, like, worst case scenario, they like force a will it. You don't have to worry about days because they don't even have a land in play. Flagstone's a Trocaire. The hell is this? At first I thought, what is this? I'm confoozled. I thought it was Death and Taxes, but then they played the Mishra's Bauble. I don't think that's a Death and Taxes card. Okay, we've got a simple plan. Play Lords, attack, 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 and attack some more. This Fixing Bauble, these are both cyclers here in this game. Interesting they opted to crack Mishra's Bauble on my turn. They could have done it immediately, drew an extra card, and at least know exactly what I have in my hand this turn. I don't know the advantage of waiting. Is this Stone Hammer? I think this is Hammer. Each player sacrifices a permanent. Ah, that's very rude, opponents. Very rude. So they're gonna sack their flagstones, so they don't really lose anything. And get a Surveil land. And they found a card to put on top. I think this is Hammer. I've never played versus Hammer in Legacy. Like, that's just not a thing. Not a thing that I play against, at least. Well, hopefully I don't die. It's my hope here. Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. Sigurd is a double hammer and I'm dead. Another crackle. Crack the earth. All right, we keep sacking. Another flagstones. It's a good thing I have lands to spare. Fortunately, our opponent is spinning their wheels. They're literally doing nothing. Do you have Swords to Plowshares here? No, they're just going to draw a card. So they put a card on top. They drew it. Maybe it's another crackle the earth. How many crackling of the earth do you want to do? How often do you want to crackle the earth around here? Well, I guess we can just attack with everything and then hold up Trickster, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, let's just attack with everything. I smell a bolt or Swords to Plowshares. Nothing I can really do about that. But they can't blow us out with either of those cards either. Or maybe it's better to play Tideshaper first. No, I can play Tideshaper off of 1 mana just in case they play Crack the Earth again. Crack the Earth, huh? What a weird card. I really don't know what I'm up against here. It feels like it could be Hammer Time. But we saw no Hammer Time cards. We saw their weird interaction. Let's say it's Hammer Time. What would I do? I'd bring in the Trickster. Probably I'd bring in the Harbinger. I don't know what else I would do. Mistcaller is like low to the ground, but it's completely unnecessary. Force of Will looks okay, especially on the draw. Okay, Hexcatcher is not as exciting. Honestly, getting 2 for 1 is not exciting either, but I don't know, maybe that's okay. 3 cards to take out. Do I really take out Mistcaller? Maybe I can take out some Mistcallers. Maybe take out... I don't really want to take out... Okay, I'll take out 1 Harbinger. Just have 2 for Island Walk if necessary. For all I know, I mean, it's possible just the 3 drops are bad. It's possible the 3 drops are terrible because my opponent just plays Crack the Earth and it's just impossible to get there. But let's get punished and then figure it out. I want to be punished, opponent. Punish me. We'll mulligan this. We'll mulligan this too. Well, that's not good. That's not good versus the Crack the Earth deck. They kept. You have no land still. Okay, I got some lands. We'll dump Force and I guess the Cavern. Aetherfell's pretty good versus Crack the Earth, in my opinion. Maybe they're just a weird pawns deck. I mean, I will say they had like their best hand and it was worthless. Maybe I shouldn't say that was their best hand, but they had like a handful of synergy. They cracked the Earth with Flagstones twice and it was worthless. They put 2 cards on top too and it was worthless. Crack the Earth, maybe not the best strategy versus Merfolk. Mox Opal. I think this is Hammer Time, but I'm not sure. Another Vexing Bauble. Maybe their deck is just full of so much air. Okay, that is not a Hammer Time card. So now I'm like unfamiliar. We're in unfamiliar territory. Okay, we'll sack this land. They've double cracked the earth. That might hurt. This is coming to play tapped. Look, graveyard may switch your life. For plains card put onto the battlefield tapped. Okay, so they actually couldn't double crack the earth that turn. All right, we got Ether Vial, which is the anti-crack the earth tech. Our opponent has no cards left. They have 2 cards on the battlefield, which they can filter into stuff. Wasteland, is that useful at all? Probably not. I'm going to play an island just in case they have Wasteland in their deck and they Wasteland crack the earth my Ether Vial. But we don't have any pressure going on right now, so who knows? Oh, Goblin Welder! Okay, now it makes sense. Was this just Welder the entire time with this really silly plan? Well, that's good for us. Anyway, we can kill this thing. Kill it dead. It's like some sort of weird value Welder deck. Welder usually has Urza Saga, so I'm gonna sandbag the Wasteland for now. But we are gonna prioritize getting True Nemesis in play. That's gonna be very, very important. So we will take the Vial up to 3, even though it's not really. It might clog the handful of our handful of 2-drops. We just need to hope they don't find any more Welders or Ensnaring Bridge. Start drawing cards. This is clearly a far weaker Welder deck than I'm used to, because this is just a bunch of air, and like I don't even think this is necessary. I don't even know if this is even a deck. I've never seen this variation of Welder before. It's like spinning its wheels Welder. That's what this is. It's got a lot of very weak cantrips, and none of the pieces are particularly useful. All right, we got a Trickster. Here comes the clock. I think they have Pyroblast or something, and they're not sure if they want to play it or not. We will take this up to 3 to get our True Name in play. Ooh, we got the follow-up True Name. That's very good. Also very lucky. We are very lucky players. Lucky Merfolk. Pass the turn to the opponent, and they go Experimental Frenzy. What does this do again? ETB. Exile top card of your library. Yeah, that's about. They really had to throw that in there right there. They had to do that. Well, that sucks. Okay, here's the good news, though. We do have a bunch of, what's it called? We have cards to deal with Ensnaring Bridge. We have quite a few cards. We have 4 Sink Into Stupor. I think that's it, though. So the plan is we need enough creatures on the battlefield to win the game and then bounce this stupid Ensnaring Bridge, which will be very, very, very difficult. Okay, let's do the Wasteland Stare Down. Stare each other's Wastelands down. You look at my Wasteland, I look at your Wasteland. Gonna take any damage, opponent, with your Mox. Mox Opal is online. True Name is not. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do nothing. Not really sure why I even played Wasteland. What's the point of this? Because the idea is if they Wasteland my Wasteland, I Wasteland their. I 2-for-1 them, hitting like an elegant parlor. It's a Stare Down. Okay, so you get a 2/2 creature. Big deal. Big whoop. Yeah, Ensnaring Bridge, the classic way to cheese a Merfolk deck. Did I not have anything in my deck to help me? I'm not sure. I think I more or less sideboarded everything I could. Okay, we get True Name in play. Name our opponent. No apples. And they're sort of stuck on. I don't know why their hand is full of cards, but we'll put the pressure on them to play them. Okay, Source Sploshers does get played on our Merfolk Trickster, so we cannot attack with True Names this turn. We draw a Master of the Pearl Trident. That's fantastically useless. Absolutely useless. Okay, pass the turn. Well, with Ensnaring Bridge in play, probably we are not favored to win this game. I am so far. Like, it'd be more convenient if they were like at 6 life and all I have to do is draw Sink Into Stupor, followed by like a land, like an island. But like from this spot, we need so many things to go right. It sort of looks like, look, they got tempted. It sort of looks like we're in a game where they're going to draw like 7 to 8 cards, and probably at least one Welder will get them into this game. Because the Welder will draw them cards with like Bauble and their Chromatic Stars and stuff like that. Each player who has cast a non-artifact spell this turn can't cast another non-artifact spell. That's fine. Play your artifacts. Nobody can attack now. You have 1 card in hand. I'll always say no. Sad part about this game is it's probably going to go on for a while. Okay, we got another Ether Vial, so we can at least play our 2 drops. Eventually. We can get our 2 drops in play 3 turns from now. Pass the turn back and forth. Who knows? Who knows what's in this deck? Maybe there's barely any Welders. This deck looks so far out there. But I've never played against it before, so I can't speak on how good or bad it is. Maybe it just looks silly versus a Merfolk deck, but it's totally fine otherwise. Another Chromatic Star. They crack their Chromatic Star. Pirate Spellbomb. Probably going to kill our lords. So we need to sneak our lords in play somehow. We need to be sneaky. Oh, they just want to draw a card. All right, they're looking for the way to win. Another bauble. Yeah. I need something in play that says they don't draw more than one card per turn. That'd be great. Do you want to be really good right now? Hull Breacher. That would be very good. Completely screw this deck over. Oh boy. We gotta dismember here. Well, I mean, you know what? This game's gonna go for a while. So we have like protection versus welders. So they could go welder into welder and we just kill them. I gotta sack a permanent, huh? I could sack the Vial on 3, but I guess we're just gonna sack the island. Synergy! Look at that. Crack the earth with the flagstones again. You don't have any more surveil lands? They misclick or something? That had to have been a misclick, right? Oh no, I guess the 2 of them are here. The 2 surveil lands are on the battlefield already. Well, they're through half their deck. Maybe they don't have Urza Saga. I think I will start deploying the creatures. We'll get our Trickster in play. Tap down Samurai, I guess. If they try to burn down the Trickster with Spellbomb, we do have Master of the Pearl Trident, so we're going to say no to our Ether Vial. We're going to say no to both Ether Vials. Ether Vial is going to be both on no. Sink into Stupor. So we can't play this card. Like, we just can't play this card. And I don't want to play my Ether Vial. So I'm prepared to, I think, lose... Well, I mean, if they Earth me again, I'm prepared to lose my Trickster, I guess. So we're just going to pass, because I really want to save this Wasteland for their... what's it called? Urza Saga. Which I am relatively confident that they have. Like, they're just so heavy on artifacts. How do you not have Urza Saga in this deck? You know? How do you not have Urza Saga? You have to. Also, I don't want to play Wasteland and have it vulnerable. I don't want them to, like, go Goblin Welder and then play Wasteland and then Wasteland my Wasteland. Or, sorry, Wasteland my Wasteland, then play Goblin Welder, and then I have to dismember the stupid Welder super fast. One way, what is this, Prismatic Ending? You gonna P-ending me? You couldn't put an end to my stuff, my tricks? What does white do for you here? It's a bit scary. This is like, I'm floating a white and then taking a long time with my decision. I want to play Swords to Plowshares on the Merfolk Trickster, sure. Sure. Now what? They untap their land. They tap the Mox Opal. They want to do something for a red. I guess it's another Crack the Earth? I would sack the Vial on 3. Okay, decide against it. I'm going to keep my Master of the Pearl Trident in my hand. I feel like something's up. And we have a lot of time. Like, I'm not in any rush to beat them or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm in no rush to beat them. Tashanda's Tidebinder. Interesting. So if the Goblin Welder welds, then we can unweld the Welder. That is an option. So now if there's a Crack the Earth, I probably will Vial in my Master of the Pearl Trident and then just let it get sacrificed. Goblin Engineer. Okay, okay, it will resolve. But then we can Tashanda's Tidebinder it. So the ability will at least be countered. But it is going to force us to play the Wasteland from our hand to kill it. Or at least have the insurance to kill it, because I'm certain my opponent can have, like, Pyroblast / Swords to Plowshares for this Tashanda's Tidebinder. It's not going to be long for this world. Show me potato salad. Give me... I want islands, to be honest. Some combination of islands. So we can play the Sink into Stupor at some point. There we go. There we go. That's what I want to see, deck. All right, 2 more. Or at least 1 more. Because then we can play Wasteland. That's okay. Although I still need a big board. Asper Sentinel. Okay. Again? What are we sacrificing this time? What sucks is now I gotta spend more mana on this thing. I guess we're gonna sacrifice the island. Yeah, goodbye, island. So long. They keep drawing all their Crack the Earths versus us instead of their Goblin Engineers or whatever. Another Tashanda's Tidebinder. All right, we need the Wasteland in play as insurance versus a removal spell. Oh, God. I mean, I guess I have another Tashanda's Tidebinder as insurance versus Goblin Engineer. That's also possible. Let's see how this plays out. It's a funny spot. It's a very, 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 very funny spot. Funny game. It'll be even more funny if we draw Harbinger of the Seas. Shut off all the red mana. Again, I'm in no rush to do anything. I'm just going to pass the turn. We won't put anything in play. I don't need to have anything in play until, like, the turn I'm ready to win. So let's just not expose the Master of the Pearl Trident. Alright, that's convenient. Oh, they got a hold at our draw step. Do you know what? Surgical extraction for my dismember? And pass the turn again. We do need like a really big board here. Like a really big board. Oh, you want to sort to plowshares my damn Tasha's Tybur? Well, I can do nothing about that. Alright. That happens. I'm going to be in really big trouble if there's like a second ensnaring bridge. What are you going to sacrifice? Oh no, you're going to exchange. What are we exchanging here? Return target through, return target artifact. Malvo 3 or less. Oh, it's not an exchange. You're just taking things from the graveyard. No, we can't do that. We can't have that around here. Sorry, Goblin Engineer. Merfolk control. Really wish the Wasteland was in our hand. I'm still like so certain they have Urza Saga. Like, I swear they have it. They have to have it. They have to have it. Our opponent is, in a very silly way, just playing land. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're going to filter a land out of their deck. I think that's a little bit risky. Okay, we can still do nothing. Pass. I think a card that I would really like to see right now would be Harbinger of the Seas, so we can guarantee Island Walk, and that would give us the opportunity to bounce the Ensnaring Bridge and then go in for a one-shot kill. Because at the moment, I can only get in with my true name Nemesises, but that's not enough. We're going to need to do better than that. Okay, here comes Goblin Welder. So they're always tapped out, but I can't really take really good advantage of that. So we will dismember. Which member? This member. Dismember the Welder. With all that life that we gained from the Swords to Plowshares. And yes, I would like to pay the 1 Esper Sentinel. I would love to pay your 1. Bye-bye, Welder. Okay, now I think let's start. We got a second Lord in hand. We're getting close to sink into Stupor mana, so let's start putting Lords in play. Let's start threatening things and stuff. That's not bad either. So that's a pretty good card. So yeah, I like that because that's going to enable Island Walk for the killer turn. We're not dead, are we? There isn't any, like I'm going to have the shields down to play this Tide Shaper. If they draw a removal spell, they kill the Tasha's Tybur. Goblin Engineer is unlocked, but they're only drawing like a card off of it. It's nothing crazy. Now we're going to hit the snow-covered plains. Because if we draw to, Harbinger of the Seas, then basically all the lands are shut off. This is the only basic land in play. And they have so many red sources, like it's not even worth trying to fight for. So now we're getting dangerously close to a kill turn. I just basically need to top deck a blue source. Top deck an island and we win. Dangerously close. They still have a Vexing Bauble in play. So I guess they could crack it. Why are they not cracking this bauble? What the hell is the point of this thing? Synthesizer, ETB or leave the battlefield, exile top card of your library. That's good value. All right. So what do they get off the top of their library? They found another experimental synthesizer, which will find... What is it going to find? Another one? A Crucible of Worlds. That's problematic. That is very problematic. Okay, so they can now get Wasteland after Wasteland after Wasteland, which means we are now even further behind. Also, this is going to be really good with Urza Saga. Uh-oh. Okay, this is a big uh-oh. Here comes the Wasteland. Here comes Wasteland wasting our Wasteland. Yeah, I saw the play before anything. I already knew what was happening. Okay, lands. We just want to draw lands, and then we just win the game. It needs to be basic lands, by the way. We need basic islands, ideally. And by ideally, I mean we need basic islands. I mean, there's a world we can go wide soon, but I mean, we still need to get rid of everything. Okay, we'll just pass the turn. And they still get to draw 3 more cards. So they're going to draw a card for the turn, draw a card basically off of their synthesizer after they sacrifice it. Fortunately, that's not a land. Do they have lands that draw cards? No, I don't think so. I don't see it. Elegant Parlor. A very neat trick they could do is... Do we see everything here? Oh, it's close. Okay, hold on. Now you can see everything. The a very neat trick would be to wasteland your Elegant Parlor and then bring them back onto the battlefield. Okay, Goblin Engineer has been revealed. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. It's really close. They did blow up a lot of our lands already, though. We got 3 islands in the graveyard. They got the Legion Extruder. Enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to any target. Sacrifice to make a 3/3. That doesn't really do anything. So far, most of what they do is nothing. It's just a bunch of spinning their wheels, mostly, which is good for us. What is this? 4, 8, 12, 15. Yeah, that's enough to win. I think end of turn, we're going to Trickster the Sentinel and just dismember this Goblin Engineer because it's going to attack. We have to kill it anyway. It's going to tax our mana. We might win on time because our opponent is playing painfully slowly and they're down a game. And we kill the Engineer. Can't play that from the graveyard. Can't play that from the graveyard, opponent. All right, so Engineer down. All things considered, we're doing very well. My opponent says clever girl in the chat. It was clever, wasn't it? You can't expect anything less from Merfolk Master. Although I don't really consider myself a raptor. That's come on. I just want basic lands. If it's a non-basic, we can store it in our hand for a little while. That's fine. But we have how many? 14. We have 14 basic unbounded loop detected. What the hell does that mean? Opponent asks, are you going to be playing more Legacy these days? And if so, what do you bring? What's bringing you back? No, I will not be playing much more Legacy. Just played for NRG Chicago. This is the last of my play testing for a video. Okay, we got Cavern of Souls. Useless. But we can't... Well, not useless. Okay, we got the third land. We are now waiting on... We're just waiting. We're just waiting, people. We just need one more island. Opponent says, best of luck at NRG. The tournament happened. I sucked. It was not the greatest tournament. Flagstones has reappeared with Urza's Bauble. What a riveting game. Is this a real deck? Like, I guess? It looks like a well-oiled machine. My opponent's just running horrible or something against me. Don't play a second Crucible Worlds. That would be terrible. That would just be absolutely awful. Crack the earth? I'll tell you what. We are dumping. I'm not sacrificing any more lands. It's the end of sacking lands. We're sacking creatures now. Yeah, that resolves. Goodbye, Trickster. Don't need that anymore. Trickster, you're fired. My opponent says, oh, at least you weren't playing this deck. Yeah, I guess so. This looks miserable. This deck is doing nothing. Okay, is there another Elegant Parlor for you to get? Nope, just plains. And a Mox Opal. I still have no incentive to play like Lord of Atlantis or anything right now. Come on! Oh, actually, Harbinger of the Seas would be good because it turns off Wasteland. That would be good. Unfortunately, Mox Opal now is completely online. Although it would always be online. I thought these are all auto-yielded. Always no, always yield. Another Lord. Alright, well, pass the turn. I got everything in hand! This damn Crucible Worlds threatening to loop this Wasteland. So a card we can bring in the third game, if it goes to a third game, would be Surgical Extraction. Which actually, this deck doesn't even seem that soft to Surgical. It's just a bunch of card drawing garbage. I don't even know how they win at this point. Like, how is this deck expecting to beat me? What's the plan here? Okay, I'll put another Lord in play. We can afford to. Like, there's 14 cards left in their deck. Do they have a way of winning the game? I don't know. And I'd be very paranoid that they're going to get to a point where they draw, like, Pyroblast or something like that, and, like, my Sink into Stupor just gets brickwalled. The legendary land of, I don't know, of Kamigawa has arrived. All right, we're on our way. You have one more turn. But they get to draw like 3 cards. They're not going to draw from their Urza's Bauble? What does the Bauble do? Look at a card at random? What do you get to see from me? Oh, what do they know about me? Oh, they know about the Sink into Stupor. Oh, no! Oh, no! I didn't look at the last time they played Urza's Bauble. So they knew about my Lord of Atlantis the entire time. They know about the Sink. That's not the card we wanted them to know about, chat. This is not the card. I didn't want them to know about that at all. All right. This would be so hilarious. We get to the point of lethal. Okay, Goblin Welder is useless at this point. Okay, we're getting to... Okay, if that last card is Pyroblast, I swear to God, this would be one of the most infuriating ways to lose a game. To be honest, I don't even know how they win from it. Let's say they get to Welder. Like, what's the win? Do they have Thassa's Oracle in this deck? Maybe. Maybe they have Thassa's Oracle. Okay, I think Harbinger of the Seas would be ideal here, so I can shut off all the... Oh, no, I don't shut off all the red mana. There's a damn Mox Opal on the battlefield. Okay, well, just gonna have to have faith that there's nothing there. We passed the turn for... What is it? This is turn 21. Turn 21, chat. This is crazy. Alright, good games. Oh, they get to draw one more card. No! Don't let it be Pyroblast or something. Exile target creature. Interesting. Okay, so they exile my Tishana's Tiebinder, unlocks their Goblin Engineer. Did that do anything? I think more important was to actually exile the Tide Shaper. That would have done something, because then I don't have Island Walk. Well, Goblin Engineer online, so they can go get... God, I don't know. Experimental Synthesizer to draw another card. They're out of Swords to Plowshares. That's it. 1, 2. No, that's a flagstone. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 4. There's 4 swords gone. It doesn't seem like they have Pyroblast or anything. I'm not going to pay the 1. 1 not paid. They get to draw another card. I'd be so blown away if the win condition is Thassa's Oracle. Just loops it. I mean, it looks like an eggs deck, frankly. Looks and feels like eggs. So I don't even deserve to win this game if I win it. Okay, so there's still game actions, people. There's still game actions. Goblin Engineer is going to get activated to return. Oh, they sacrificed something? What is Intruder Alarm? Deals 2 damage to any target. Sacrifice another artifact. Well, nothing else happens here. Goblin Welder is offline. You deal 2 damage to like whatever you want. Still going in for lethal. They do have a random card in hand. Could be anything. Yeah, they don't have anything important in their graveyard. We stalled them off enough. Okay, they're going to deal 2 damage to a Lord. It's fine. Deal 2 damage to a Lord. If they have a Lightning Bolt, like, big deal. Opponent says, pleasure losing to you. Yeah, thanks. Good games. Okay, we won that one in a very weird, clunky manner. Okay, that was round 3. Let's get into round 4. We're here for round 4. Our hand is a little pathetic. We lost the die roll. I think I'm going to mulligan this. It's just basically 5 lands and 2 1/1s. Hand is playable. We'll keep and we'll throw 1 to Tishana's Tidebinder. It's pretty quiet this league, but I got to turn on the air conditioner. It's hot. It's hot, too hot for me. Okay, we got a Lotus Petal, which means something unfair. Punishing Waterfall gonna punish me. Oh god, it's Eldrazi. Here come the Eldrazi. Well, at least it's a secluded courtyard. Ooh, and a pass. A pass. Well, this next card is probably going to be terrible for me, so I'm going to hold up... Just in case it's Thought-Knot's here, I'm going to hold up the mana. Like, this Mistcaller, it's not that important to get on the battlefield. I'm just going to wait it out. The Eye of Ugin. Alright, here's the Fleshraker, which is back-breaking. We'll definitely dismember this thing. We have nothing? Okay, good. I'm going to dismember you. You get dismembered! I got a Trickster. I will continue to do nothing. Because they are looking to put something in play. It's funny, they don't have double colorless here. It just adds 1 colorless. I'm just going to pass the turn. We'll probably play Trickster at end of turn. And then ideally we'll get to play a True Name Nemesis on our turn. Another Fleshraker. And what are you going to do? Nothing again? See, that's what I was trying to hit last turn. So we might as well get some value out of this. We are just not equipped to beat this deck. At least not with this build. Which is why I do not really recommend this deck as a legacy deck, because it cannot beat this deck. Or I don't know, maybe it's a fine deck. Like maybe Merfolk overall is fine, but the weakness versus Eldrazi is just brutal. It's like it's just a really bad matchup. Hopefully everyone agrees, and maybe they can ban something from this deck. This card particularly is just awful. And look, what are they doing? Look at this, turn 3, 10. This is worse. This is. I don't know if it's worse than Initiative, but it feels just as bad. Pass the turn, I guess. The Eldrazi, whatever, Lacerator, or Line Breaker will trigger, and then we can play Tishana's Tidebinder. Alternatively, we can also... No, I think we're going to wait for this Lacerator trigger. What the hell is this? Territorial Color? Landfall. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't, put the card into your hand. This is... unbelievable. Land ETB and draw cards. How is this not seeing play in Modern? And I didn't stop this thing from gaining haste, so I'm a bit of a silly goose. But I'm stone dead here anyway. Doesn't change very much. Doesn't change. Okay, let's bring in the tech. So the problem is, see, I lost the die roll. See, I have some chance of winning if I'm on the play, but if I'm on the draw, like imagine I'm on the play. I get to play with my True Name on turn 3, and then have some chance in hell of playing like Tishana's Tidebinder on turn 4. But because now I lose game 1, even if I win game 2, it's not enough It's not enough, chat. Okay, we'll bring in Wasteland. How many 0 drops there are? I don't think there's that many. I sort of want to bring in Chalice just to play it on 0. Feels like a very low EV play, though. Okay, we're going to take out the Force of Will, take out Mistcaller. Looks good enough. Good enough to me. This hand is slow and clunky, and it can get punished several ways. Very, very, very slow and clunky. But we can play Dismember, so I'll keep it. The thing is, with one land Vile hands on the play, like, you're not favored to draw your next land for the next... I mean, you're going to get your land in, like, 3 turns. Oh, they also have Mox Diamond. It's another reason to have Chalice on 0 on the play. But it's such a low EV play. Fleshraker again. There's a Fleshraker. There's a Lotus Petal. Look at all that stuff that I would have stopped if only I had Chalice. I'm such a fool. Oh, we drew another land too. In that case, I actually feel like playing Trickster on this Fleshraker. Just make the best use of our mana. Then if we draw another land, then we can go like double Lord and hold up and play Dismember at the same time. It all depends on our opponent not obliterating us this turn. Well, forget everything that I said about Dismember, because the Thought-Knot Seer had something to say about it. Okay, so Dismember down. We do want another land just to combat the Fleshraker still. Now I'm wondering, I could attack with Trickster. They may or may not block. We flash in Hexcatcher and Master the Pearl Trident. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, they don't block, so I do nothing. No, unfortunately, they know our entire hand. That's the bad news. That is the bad news, unfortunately. They decide to do nothing. So I'm not going to do anything impressive either. Okay, we'll get our Hexcatcher in play. We'll just pass the turn. We're going to hold up this Tishana's Tiebinder so I can snipe the stupid glaring Fleshraker. Ooh, we drew another Dismember. This is great. To do with this, though. Okay, let's attack for 3 again. If they go for a double block, that's not going to be favorable for them. The Eldrazi deck is scared of me. How about that? Yeah, I'll just hit them for 3. Even though they know about my lord, I'm still not putting it in play. Like, for example, if they had Kozilek's Command, I don't want to expose it like that. So if they want to play Kozilek's Command, they got to do it to my Hexcatcher on this turn. Ooh, something big. Something big. Ooh, super big. You're going to get rid of my Vial? Is this the bouncy Exile Vial thing? Oh, it's the bounce a creature thing. So... okay, so first things first, let's Vial in a Lord. We're gonna at least dump our hand, which is good. Okay, this bounces this. This loses the Vial. And then we will Tishana's Tidebinder the Glaring Fleshraker, because I hate that card. Okay, we are in a position of strength here. For once, we are in a position of strength. We'll play... Well, let's just Dismember this Thought-Knot Seer right now. See what we get. Good to draw a card. Sink it to Stupor. It's the only card that, like, punishes me for tapping the damn island here. So badly. Because now I could attack with more things, and if there's a block, I can just bounce one of these things. But we have pretty good attacks anyway, so we'll attack with the Trickster and the Tishana's Tidebinder, and they don't have good blocks. They can double block one of the creatures. It's fine, and I guess we will, maximize damage now, because I'm, like, really out of options. And it's pretty clear that they don't have Kozilek's Command, and I forgot to play my land for the turn. I have Ugin. They're going to go find one thing. We got Dismember, which is a pretty good card. Okay, charge. Now they'll use the... Maybe it was better to Wasteland first. What was it? 1... Oh, they still have to take 2 damage from that thing? That'd be great. Suit your life for a colorless creature card. Put in your hand, then shuffle. What will you go get, opponent? Whoever it is, it's going to get hit by Sink into Stupor. So you take 5. Oh, they don't take damage from Ancient Tomb because of this. Sowing Miko Spawn. That's fine. That does literally nothing. Merfolk. Sacrifice. Hit Eye of Ugin. And pass. So they could play with Kicker this thing. And I guess we can just sink it. Sure. You got a Lowest Pedal. And then if they replay it, we just Dismember it. Or how are we going to do this? Okay, we're going to float a mana. Get this. Let them do their thing. We go get a land. Because they can replay the Miko Spawn. Another Eye of Ugin. So if I bounce this thing, you can replay it again. Sure. Seems a bit weird. Hope the last card is not a Thought-Knot Seer. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. Oh! I was not expecting that. Oh man, this is a really good card. It's gonna get wasted here. So I attack with everything. You untap my... They got it like they found Maze of Ith, which can untap my creatures. Well, it looks like it's just the best thing to do is to kill the Miko spawn and then attack with everything, put them to 1, and then go wide with almost no matter what they do. Can they Eye of Ugin for something? 1, 2. Does this count? Is this a... I don't think this is considered like an Eldrazi. So you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can search with Eye of Ugin. I just don't know what it would do. See, I can... Well, I mean, I shouldn't say I've won yet, but like I can always go to 3 games with this deck. I just can't win the match. And like I said, it's very die roll dependent. Super die roll dependent. Their hands on the play are just lethal. Hands on the draw, not so dangerous. Or I should say they are dangerous, but they're like doable. Like I can make something of it. Okay, we're on the draw. I want them Force of Wills. Give me them Force of Wills. Maybe Tashana's Tidebinder on the draw is not that good. Maybe I should have more Lords. Just because you're on the draw, it's so clunky. But it will still take out a Hex Catcher, and we can submit that. How many lands? We have 18 plus Sync. Okay. I was just thinking if we should take out Aether Vial, put a Caracas in. This hand is a reasonable looking hand. It's got a lot of cards that I like. It's got turn 1 turn 2 Dismember, which I hope is not too late. Oh, turn 1 Cavernous Souls. Turn 1, ooh, we drew a bomb there. The Damping Sphere. It's just hopeless is not followed up with the Flesh Raker. Is that what it's called? Flesh Raker? It's a weird name, in my opinion. It's a weirdo name for me. Is this the Flesh Rake? No, it's just a battle. How didn't you do that by turn 2? That is so rude. That is so rude. Well, anyway, Damping Sphere. Your lands tap for 1 mana. We're on the same playing field now. Oh, damn. Eye of Ugin is great in this spot. Okay, there's the Flesh Raker. For 1 mana. This undermines everything that I've just done this turn. Everything. Okay, they attack for 2. What do I want to do? I probably... Well, I don't want to take that much damage from anything. It's funny. If I play Harbinger of the Seas, they'll have access to 1 colorless mana. That's it. Which hurts... it doesn't hurt enough stuff. Or I play True Name, pass, and that at least gums up the board for a little while. Probably True Name is the play. That will prevent my opponent from going crazy and attacking me. Unless they've got the haste one. Then they'll go crazy and attack me. Yeah, we're just trying to stabilize here for a second. For a second! Come on, True Name Nemesis. Do it for me! Keep me in the game! You can only play 1 spell a turn, too. Well, you can play multiple spells, but you gotta pay a tax for each extra spell you play that turn. Is this the spawn one? There's the Sowing Miko spawn, okay. Oh, it's gonna be the Wasteland plan. Yep. They eat up a land, go get the Wasteland. Oh yeah, this is very fun. This is very, very fun magic. I am having a good time. Not. I guess we should kill the flesh thingy, I think, before it does more damage. There's so many great top decks I could play, though. Okay, so I guess I'll just pass the turn and figure out what I'm gonna do next turn. Damn it, the sphere's not even doing anything this game. It's not even doing anything. Okay, to be mana efficient, we're gonna get rid of the flesh raker. What's going on here? I think there's gonna be a command. The Kozilek. I was about to say, like, the only thing that would screw me here is like Kozilek's command, and there it is, and I die. Alright, so that was a reason to probably do that on my main phase that I didn't think about. That card's just absolutely insane. So anyway, we die. The triggers will kill me. Just curious what we would have top decked if we top deck anything at all. Okay, what's our... Oh, we were drawing a land, which was useful. Alright, that was round 4. Let's move on to round 5. So for round 5, we won the die roll. Hand is a bit awkward. We have a million... This hand's either like really good or really bad. I guess we're going to keep it. We've got a Tide Shaper. I hope my opponent has some blue mana. That's probably what we're hoping for. It's very slow, though, this hand. Holy crap. Very, very slow hand. Now let's hope our Aether Vial doesn't get hit by Force of Will. That would also be pretty brutal. Alright, here's our Aether Vial. Force or no force? Uh-oh. They're thinking about it. Oh, no! The humanity of it all! They probably have Daze, too. Okay, Force will pitch Daze. Sorry, man. They must have Wasteland, too. Alright, it's been Underground Sea and then pass. That's not too bad. Land. Oh, God. We don't even have land. Alright, here we go, Tide Shaper. Do something. I guess, you know what was probably the worst land was Cavernous Souls. Once we had Cavernous Souls, our opponent knew. They knew they needed to act with that Force of Will because they would have nothing else to spend this thing on. I guess we can counter a Psychic Frog, maybe. Oh, Bowmasters. This does Nothing. Yeah, I'll let that resolve. That's okay. I don't know what this is now. Is it like blue-black Murktide or something? Like, what are you shooting this for? Usually I see that mistake in paper. I don't see that mistake online. So that's a bit weird. They tried to kill my 1/1 Tide Shaper. I guess they couldn't see the 2/2 font or whatever. Well, pass the turn. I'm ahead here. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing. The onus is on you to make a move. We're drawing all our 3 drops. Not healthy. But if we can go land, it's over. We're in Catacombs. Oh, this might be Sultai. I was up against like a Sultai build before. Wow. Even on a 1-lander, you're supposed to draw like a land 1 in 3 turns. It's not even happening here. But the good news is we have a Force of Will for a potential Murktide if that ever shows up. Which might be... Ooh, Thassa's Oracle. Is this Doomsday? What's going on here? I think it's Doomsday with maybe some Bowmasters and Psychic Frogs. I was up against a few Doomsday decks playing Psychic Frog in my playtesting. I'm super confused. No! I'm sort of tempted to force this just so that my opponent doesn't know, like, know what they're up against. Because they're going to take the Force of Will. They have no choice. Okay, I'm forcing this. Even though, like, I would gain a life out of it. Like, they would lose 2 life. I'm still forcing this. I don't want them to know. I don't want them to know that we're naked. Oh, they're gonna go for it anyway, aren't they? This is Doomsday! They got the Doomsday! I found out too late. Our hand would have been great, too, with these Tishana's Tidebinders. Damn, I showed them a Tishana's Tidebinder. I should have showed them in True Name Nemesis. So effectively, our opponent is like, well, I mean, they did Force of Will our Ether Vial turn 1, so, you know, best of skill to them. But sort of a free win here. It's the way the game is played out. Can't tell if this is a good or bad matchup. I don't have that much interaction, but I do have some. I got something. I can't tell if Damping Sphere is good in this matchup. Because, like... They still they're gonna still Street Wraith a few times, but they have to play like at least 1 cantrip. They may or may not be choked on mana. I'm not sure. Like, it might save me a turn, but it doesn't. At the same time, it doesn't seem that relevant either. Okay, let's see what we can do. If we draw, I want to say we need to draw a land, but I don't think that does anything. Need to draw land into a land. Okay, well, we were just not meant to win this game, I guess. Let's see how they decide to win the game. See how they want to do it. Fetch. They don't know our hand. They still don't know it. They might play slow. Want to take it easy. Take it easy, opponent. The One Ring. Okay. So it turns out if we did go land into land, we could win. Because they would go the One Ring this turn, draw a card, and then I could go land, and we have Tishana's Tidebinder up for the Thassa's Oracle. This is like a smidge too late, I think. Because they're just going to go for it, right? Damn, we had a lot of chances this game. It's funny, the One Ring and a Doomsday deck. So, I guess... Well, they can't play the One Ring again. They gotta wait 1 more turn, because they'll just draw their deck out. So they only get to draw 1 card with the One Ring. Oh, do we get another turn? Come on, land. Please! Please! Give me a land! Give me a land! Oh, it would be such a glorious way to win this game! Yes! Yes! Pass the turn, opponent. You played a very, very careful line because you didn't know what was in my hand. I protected my hand perfectly. And now it is time for you to feel the wrath of my Tishana's Tidebinder. Unless you have Trick Bind in your hand or something. They have 3 cards in hand. No. No. I don't even want to show them. And you don't get to see my hand at all from beginning to end. Where's my card thing? Hold on. No one saw that. There's this damn Squirrel Scout thing. I had to do a I had to do a stream in between. Damn, you guys didn't see squat. Hold on here. Okay, card window back online. That was a bit weird. Well, okay. It was like match. We didn't even need a card window. I don't know if we need Damping Sphere. Harbinger of the Seas might be useful. Okay, definitely Hexcatcher is good. Flash creatures are good. I actually don't mind siphoning their mana with Wasteland. Dismember. Actually, Dismember is playable because I don't know about this build, but there's a lot of builds with Psychic Frog that are super, super annoying. True Name Nemesis is not that important. Mistcaller is not strong, but it's at least like a 1-drop that I can sort of get in there. Surgical Extraction, I believe, does nothing. Like, absolutely nothing unless my opponent, like, dumped their Thassa's Oracle into their graveyard like they did last game. Chalice of the Void. That might be useful. They do have a good chunk of 1-drops. Thoughtseize. I prefer to just aggro them out, though. I don't want to be that hard on control. Like, you saw the Bowmasters. Like, they've got, like, a little bit of an aggro plan if they need it. Damping Sphere. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, each spell a player casts that costs 1. You know, like, when they Doomsday, I think it's over. It will prevent, like, a ritual into a Doomsday. I don't know if it's worth it. Harbinger of the Seas might be worth it, but I don't know what to take out. What are we going to take out? Tideshaper, Lords? No, not really. Okay, I'm just going to... Okay, I got to take out one thing. Take out a Trickster. Or maybe I'll take out Mistcaller, because they have Bowmasters. They show me Bowmasters. I don't expect a lot of removal. That's why I'm taking out the, what's your name, Nemesis? In the past... another one-lander. Mulligan. We can keep this. I'll just dump the sink. Not a very good hand, though. Like, we have, like, no interaction. Maybe I was supposed to bring in the Chalice, because my entire deck is not really well-equipped right now. Like, I have so little actual interaction. So we're going to keep this, dump the sink. Maybe I should keep the sink. Maybe I'll dump a Trickster. Okay, this is, like, my only piece of interaction. And I can bounce a Thassa's Oracle back to my opponent's hand, even if it's uncounterable. Only problem is that they'll probably have Thoughtseize by the time they do that, but we'll see. We'll see, opponent. We will see. What was a bit interesting was in that last game. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they had Cavernous Souls in their hand, but they didn't get Cavernous Souls as part of their Doomsday pile. But you know what? Our opponent, they probably know how to play Doomsday. Just thought it was interesting. An interesting line, that's all. I wasn't criticizing them. All right, here we go. We're off to the races. I got a 1-drop. I have a theoretical... Is this a turn 4 kill? Attack for 2, attack for 6. It's turn 5, actually. I need one more creature. Or one more lord, I should say. Okay, our opponent plays Pluto Delta and passes. And we're going to play a lord of Atlantis type. And I'm going to hope my opponent doesn't go Daze. But they might. So they could go Undercity Sewers, then Daze, and then Undercity Sewers again. Put a Pluto Delta in their graveyard. And there's the Daze. No, I will not pay for it. And I'll attack for 1. But next turn you can't Daze me, opponent, because I'm going to have 3 mana. Because that's what I do. Just get in there for that 1 damage. One damage at a time. Gonna make sure when you Doomsday, you're going to have no life left. That's my plan. Puts another island into the graveyard. We're dumping our islands in 2024. Okay, I got a Tishana's Tidebinder. That's not bad. Interacts with the deck, I think, a decent chunk enough. Damn it. And they exiled their Thassa's Oracle. But I believe Doomsday lets you take cards from exile and bring them back into the game, so that wasn't really a big loss. Not a big loss at all. Well, this Mistcaller sucks. I wish I had the Trickster instead. But then I wouldn't have been attacking at all. Alright, we got a Brainstorm. Our opponent is working very well off of almost no resources. They crack the fetch immediately. I would have pounced on that with my Tishana's Tidebinder if they gave me the opportunity. Oh, we got a Wasteland. We'll attack first, then Wasteland the Underground Sea. Maybe we'll Wasteland the Undercity Sewers just in case they Daze again. They can't repeatedly get value off of that damn thing. All right. No Wasteland for you. I mean, no Undercity Sewers for you. It's the last Undercities I see out of this game. What do I do? I think we're at Bowmasters mode. I think I'm going to keep my Tidebinder in hand. Okay, we're going to attack for 1 and then probably try to counter the Bowmaster trigger. Oh, there wasn't a Bowmaster trigger? Okay, pass. Maybe I'm going to have to just throw out this Tishana. Now that I have a Dismember, I can throw out this Tishana's Tidebinder just for value. Or not for value. There'd be no value, just as a beat stick. Opponent is so snoopy. Well, I'll let them lose 2 life. Nothing's working for me right now. Right, you get my Dismember or my Sink into Stupor. They're probably going to take the Sink. They might take the Dismember if they got a Psychic Frog. No, they took the Sink. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. We're going to let that sink in. Oh, we got another Sink. All right. Well, now that Doomsday will put you to 5. You got to be careful with that Doomsday. What the hell is in their hand? Just, I guess, a bunch of counter spells. They're not playing creatures. They're not comboing off. Maybe they have a bunch of random... Or they could have the One Ring, I guess. I'm going to play this land. I can play around Daze, finally. The good old 20... what are we doing? Is this turn 11 or something? No, they fetched a few times to help me on Thoughtseize. It's funny. Thassa's Oracle. You're going to have 4 Devotion. I guess I should use up my cards. Just kill this thing. I can never tell what they do. But X, because They get to choose if they put a card on top, but like do they have to put a card on top? Here's a battlefield. Look at the top. X cards your library. X is your devotion to blue. Put up to one of them. The client doesn't tell me if they do. Like if they shipped all of them to the bottom, I don't know that, which is a little upsetting. My opponent must be like, why did Nikachu keep the Dismember in? Like, if they don't have Psychic Frog in their deck, I look really stupid. I look really, really dumb. I look like a dummy. Super dumb. My opponent wants to do something at my upkeep now. Maybe fetch that Verdant Catacombs before I draw Tashanda's Tidebinder. Nope. Okay, attack for 1. 1 ring in this deck looks lethal. Looks insane. This is the crappiest clock. Now, I really regret not keeping the Trickster over the Mistcaller. Hand looked fine in the beginning. Just turned to garbage all of a sudden. The hand used to look good. They chose not to use Ponder's ability, so they got a card that they want. Now they're shuffling all the trash to the bottom. Increasing the clock. Down to 7 life. 7 more turns, and it's all over. Azarante. Ponder again. Can you find an answer to the Mistcaller? An answer, I say. Okay, they did not use Ponder's ability again, so they have 2 cards that they like. I mean, it's possible like they actually found a Ponder off of the first Ponder. Now they still have 1 card that they like. I don't know how good or bad it is, though. Another Dismember. These Dismembers look really bad. They look really bad right now, not gonna lie. Okay, just in case I get Thoughtseize, I'm gonna put myself in a position where I can, like, maybe Dismember and play Sink into Stupor at the same time. Fetch. My opponent has done half the work. What was it, like 4 fetches? Maybe 5 fetches? I think these are all fetches. So 5 fetches. The 1 ring to rule them all. I feel like I'm supposed to say no, but at the same time, do you know what? Let's let them choke on their own 1 ring. They want some cards. They can die over these cards, and if they try to play another 1 ring, I'll sink it to Stupor that 1 ring. Make sure they die to these counters. Okay, they have protection from me, but they're still going to take 1 damage. Something they didn't think about. You didn't think about that, opponent. You didn't think about that 1 damage that you're going to take here. It's just as much as my Mistcaller. All right, you take 1. It's going to kill you, you know. I think they know. Yeah, you go after another card. You do that. You need to find another 1 ring, though. And when you do, like, you desperately need to find another 1 ring. The little Mistcaller that could. We basically attacked for, what was it, 5... For 9 turns now? Yeah, 9. It's turn 10. 9 damage! If it was a 2-power creature, if it was Tide Shaper, the game would be over. The power of 1-drops. The power of the 1-drop. Might have to reevaluate the sideboarding. Maybe I want Chalice of the Void, and I just wait until turn 3 to play it. Alright, they took a long time with their Brainstorm. And then they decided we're going to do nothing. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Well, I'm going to do something. I'm going to play Merfolk Trickster. And you got to deal with this board. Because if you take too much damage, you dead. You are stone cold dead. Oh, here comes the Fatal Push. Alright. You dealt with a little bit. You dealt with a little bit around here. The Lord of Atlantis. I don't even know if I want to play this. Oh, wait a minute. If I play it and there's no Fatal Push, I win. No, wait a minute. If I play it and there's like a Bowmasters in response, I lose. Like, the thing is, I really want the Sink into Stupor to kill my opponent. So I'm going to... I think I'm just going to attack for 1. I want to make sure I play around Days. Because if I play Lord of Atlantis, I'll have 3 mana up for Sink into Stupor. Long goodbye. Spell can't be countered. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. When the hell did this get printed? Okay, so I'm all in on the 1 ring killing my opponent here. We're all in on this plan. There's no other plan. I guess the disappointing thing is, like, even if I bounce a 1 ring, they could still go, like, Dark Ritual, play it again. They will need, like, Force of Will backup. Alright, here we go. Dark Ritual. Oh, they're just gonna Doomsday? Oh, do I just lose? Like, right now? And they'll create their Doomsday piles probably in such a way that I lose the game. I don't know when I'm supposed to do anything. Is it now? I go Sink. They make their pile. They draw the cards. Because they can draw a lot of cards here. I think I have to Sink this. Do they have only one ring in their entire deck? I'm probably lost, but I have nothing else to do. I want you to pay full retail for that Doomsday. I'm going to pay full retail. Full retail. Alright. I am confident they can beat me from here, especially after they draw 2 cards. They can draw 3 cards with a 1 ring. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, there goes the Thassa's Oracle. What's funny is, oh no, even if I surgically extract Thassa's Oracle, it does nothing. Because you still, Doomsday still, like, grabs things from exile. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Oh no! Put the chosen card, oh, sorry, it's just from your graveyard, not from exile. So actually, if I surgical extract the Thassa's Oracle, actually the game is over. Cycling, discard a land, oh, there's there's the Cavern of Souls. 1 card left in deck. Oh, but you can't go for it this turn. You can't go for it this... Oh, do they have days? What is going on here? You have 1 card left in your deck! Opponent! You have 1 card left in your deck! I got Dismember! What's going on here? Pact Negation? They have Pact? Draw a card. Oh, they have another Edge of Autumn. Rude! Good games. And they got nothing left in their deck. Well played. Very well played by them. Well, I think my game sucked. I don't know. I don't know what the latest Doomsday lists are, but when Modern Horizons 3 came out, all the Doomsday decks had Psychic Frog. My pile was triple days plus Cavern Thassa. It's a good pile. Anyway, I wish we had a 2-power creature to win this game with. All right, so we went 2-3. Let me get my bearings here. Where are we? Legacy Merfolk. There we go. This is what we were playing today. Yeah, like the deck is missing something. Where was the deck tech? There we go. The deck is missing something. Well, the something is that Reanimator is like warping the meta, but in addition to that, I just don't think we have a very good matchup versus the Eldrazi deck. Like, I'm thinking maybe I have to play with like millions of damping spheres and subtleties in order to have any sort of reasonable game versus them. Because a subtlety, at the very least, well, subtlety even sometimes is shut down by what's it called? By Vexing Bauble. Anyway, it's really tough. I think we lost twice to Eldrazi. I know it's a bad matchup. You can win it. I would say it's like a 25%er. You do need to win the die roll. You also need to hope that they have like a not nutted hand. Like they need like some like an average to below average hand, and you need to win the die roll. So those are the things you need in your favor in order to win the matchup. I'll tell you what I would be more interested in trying. So I don't really believe in this build, even though I'm showing it on camera. I would be interested in playtesting this some more. I got a 3-2 with this. It's basically Soul Land Merfolk. We have Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, to play Chalice of the Void on 1. Now, this doesn't really help that much versus Eldrazi, although Hull Breacher maybe could be subtlety. Maybe I can squeeze in subtleties over, like, I don't know, some Tashana's Tidebinders or something. Or put in the sideboard. But, and then, of course, we can have Damping... Oh, the problem with Damping Sphere now in this case is, like, Damping Sphere sort of screws us, in addition to screwing the Eldrazi players. But, anyway, this is, like... What if Bowmasters didn't exist in the metagame? Can we play Silvergill Adept? Can we play Hexcatcher? Is Maraudry and a Hexcatcher Lords enough? Plus being able to play like turn 2 Hull Breacher to shut down like Brainstorm and Ponder, and Tashana's Tidebinder by turn 2 to hit fetch lands. And instead of relying on Force of Will, which is actually just a significantly weaker card right now in Legacy, we use Vexing Bauble like everybody else is. Instead of using Cavern of Souls, you use Vexing Bauble to take down Daze and Force of Will, and of course you can like draw a card off of this. So this is like something I've been like playing around with in my head, and but I don't want to playtest too much Legacy because I don't have any Legacy tournaments in the future. So if you're interested in this, let me know. Maybe we'll throw that. Maybe I'll run a league with this. So anyway, if you like the show, give a thumbs up for Legacy Merfolk. It's going to be Modern and Pioneer from here for quite a while because I have no Legacy events for as far as the eye can see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this series, and take care of my fish fam.